Okay, so here we have a sculpture of Cupid and Psyche. This work is currently in Paris, France, in the Louvre. It's an unknown artist, but actually, now that I'm doing this, I actually think that the piece I did just before this, of the boy and the goose, would have fit better into the Roman period and this into the Greek. But the Greek and Roman sections in the Louvre were actually kind of smushed together, and the descriptions were rather vague, and upon further research, I kind of struggled. But this piece was found in Rhodes, which is an island off of Greece. The medium is bronze and red copper. It's mostly bronze, but you might be able to see on Psyche's sandal there is some red copper. Some relevance: it depicts Cupid or Eros and Psyche, the personifications of love and soul, is as children embracing. And this work is important because it kind of shows the universal myths of the period. As we know, the Romans and the Greeks kind of worshipped the same gods under different names. And it's also important because the timing of the work is kind of ambiguous. This is kind of in a distant location. Rhodes is kind of far off of even Greece. And so it's really interesting that this piece was able to be created with such accuracy to the trend of the time. Some defining characteristics are the stances of both figures. They're both kind of wrapped around, and they both have a kind of distorted proportions for children. I also think the use of copper on Psyche's sandal is really interesting. It's only a little bit. I chose this work because I thought it was really cool. Again, how universal some of the themes are across the Greek and Roman in the Hellenistic period. And compares to other works because the depiction of them as children became more common in the Hellenistic period as it went on, as I spoke about in my last video. But yeah, so the period of this work is kind of ambiguous. It says 200 BC, which is later than the last work was created. But I do think it's interesting on the timing of that. Question mark at the Louvre, because I do think this piece might actually be Greek instead of Roman based on where it is. But this was labeled as Roman Empire. So, I don't know. I'll leave it up to you. That might be my fun fact. But these works are Greek, Roman, adjacent, Hellenistic. Kind of cool.